Hi, I'm Brooke Erdman I'm a carnivore coach with MeatRx. And today, to talk to me, I have James, who's going to share his own journey with the carnivore diet. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm good, Brooke. How are you?
Nice. I'm very well, thank you. It's so nice of you to take the time out from your really busy schedule to share with us. And I know it's a really busy schedule because you've got a farm out there. Is it called Forage Farm or?
Yeah, Forage Creek Ranch. Yeah,
Nice. So I'm sure you're super busy. And what's your last name, James?
Skinner.
Skinner.
Yeah.
Well, what brought you to this all animal food diet?
Well, we're in a fast-paced life like anybody else, and when you're running a ranch, and I've got another full-time job too. Just like everybody else in the world, we get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you put your boots on and you start for the day. And the very first thing you do is grab something real quick, which is mostly a processed food of some kind, because that's when you have time to do that, and you head out the door. So, you spike your insulin and blood sugar and all that, and head out the door for the day and get going. And then, a couple hours later, you've got to do something again, and you just go, go, go. And, after years of doing that, you're just not healthy. It's just not, and you don't know any different. I grew up in the 80s to where low fat was, that's what it was. Your mother always tried to feed you chicken and rice and all the healthy things that they tell you, and you didn't know any different, And so after years of, dieting up and down and doing different things, I had a myriad of things, stiff joints, low energy, high blood pressure, gout symptoms, pre-diabetic symptoms, all of that kind of stuff. And there wasn't any end in sight other than, medications and things like that. So that's kind of what got me started in looking into other directions, and even with the animals, we do run Forage Creek Ranch. We've raised animals for years. And we just did it conventionally, like everybody else did. And then we started to look at soil biology and, the perfect diet for each animal. Ruminant animals have different needs than omnivores or, and pigs and things like that. And so I thought, well, it's got to be the same for humans. We've got to have a diet that is suited for us, and especially people that are sick. There's got to be something we can do differently than we're doing. Obviously, there's a reason there's getting to be more and more sick people in the world. And so that's when I ran into MeatRx, Dr. Sean Baker, all of that kind of stuff. And, we just happened to take it to another level of, we're doing the carnivore diet. We just happen to be growing all of our own food.
Nice. So you mean you knew that giving your animals particular foods was best for their health, so you kind of put that together for yourself.
Yeah. Cattle. If you take cattle, for instance, they are a ruminant animal. They're made to eat grass and break that down. They have 4 stomachs and all of that kind of stuff. I've done different diets before. I've done the keto diet and all of that stuff. Followed a guy that said you have to eat 10 cups of vegetables a day and everything. And I never felt worse in my entire life. I did it for 6 months. I lost some weight and I felt horrible, so that's just, you just start to look at the different things. And why does a chicken have a different diet than a cow? Well, they're set up totally different, so you just have to look at that kind of stuff, and all those things just kind of start to fall into place, and you just have to kind of take the deep dive into all that stuff.
How did you start it? What was the transition like?
So I'm a pretty motivated person, I guess I would say. If I'm going to do something, we just go all in. So honestly, my wife is the same way. And so both of us just cold turkey. We started and we thought, we've got all of this meat, that we raise, and we'll just do it. And so we thought, we're going to have all of this different stuff. It turns out that we gravitate more towards beef for whatever reason. I don't know what that is, and you guys have all talked about that before, but it's true. You just, for some reason, you gravitate towards that. Your body craves it more. But that's what we did, is just go cold turkey. We're ranchers, and so a lot of times it's not real romantic. You don't get ribeye steaks all the time. We're the ones that end up with the ground beef or the whatever, because we can sell the cuts, and all that kind of stuff, to our customers. But that's what we do. I eat a pound or two typically a day. We eat pasture-raised eggs every day, and that kind of stuff. But that's kind of our implementation. We don't go to the grocery store. It's been very nice to just kind of do our diet and not have to go to the grocery store and all that kind of stuff. So
that sounds great, actually. Not have to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Do you have dairy cows too?
We don't, but we are fortunate enough to have a raw dairy that's right down the road. In our state, you're able to sell raw dairy, and so we do have raw dairy down the road. So we have that from time to time, make some kefir and a few things like that every once in a while. Right now we're kind of steering away from dairy just a little bit, just in our journey, but at some point, we'll incorporate that stuff too, and whatever. So, but yeah, it's been great to have, all of those different options at our table.
It's great. There's so much abundance.
Yeah.
So fortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
So you started right in, and what was that like? What was that like in, the first week or so?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, you get, I didn't feel that great to begin with, so I don't know that I felt that much worse than before. You get, cravings and different things. And again, it's a process. I mean, we went through and started the diet process and started eating meat and whatever. And then you start, listening to the coaches and different things, and they talk about the fasting part of it. And so we thought, well, maybe it's a thing. I don't know, maybe it is. So we started that part, and it got to be easier to squeeze your meals closer and closer together. And that's where we really found that we expedited our success, is incorporating the fasting and the meat-based diet all at the same time. And that has made the biggest difference, I think, is a combination of the two, for sure.
So it sounds like you're speaking of intermittent fasting.
Yes.
So like you start your main meals in the day a little bit later than how you used to?
Yeah. So I won't eat until probably 11 o'clock. And typically we'll do one meal a day. And it's, I'll do mine typically at 11 o'clock, and then I won't have anything the rest of the day. Sometimes, on the weekends or something, we'll have 2 meals or something like that. We'll even throw in another day of fasting. We'll do some, 40-hour fasting or something like that every month or something, just for those added benefits and things. But it's been a good journey. I'm by no means done with it, or I'm just in essence getting started, really. So I'm still kind of feeling my way through how it all works, and look forward to getting some more information from you guys.
And how long have you been on carnivore diet?
Let's see, this is 7 months now.
7 months. Yeah. And any other things you've noticed of benefits for yourself?
So my joints aren't stiff anymore. So we do, on our regenerative ranch, there's a lot of walking. We move, all of the animals get moved every day. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. And honestly, if I didn't do this diet, I don't know that I could do that. I mean, there's a lot of that going on. So I don't have the stiffness. All of my pre-diabetic symptoms are gone. I was getting blurry vision and, the whole gamut of things. My gout, I haven't had any gout attacks, which is kind of weird to me. I mean, you would think they always tell you, if you eat red meat and a lot of different things, a lot of protein, you're going to get gout attacks. Well, I haven't. I had some at the very beginning, but just like normal. but I haven't had any. I haven't taken any medication at all. My high blood pressure is gone. Everything is normalized. I haven't taken any blood pressure medicine. My energy is very, very high. And I think I've lost 120 pounds to date so far. So yeah, I think my wife has lost 60, and she's not, you know, she's a smaller lady. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of huge benefits to this. I haven't seen any drawbacks at all. And we see a lot of different things, you know, as you investigate other ways people are doing things. You just want to find the best way. For me, this is the best I found in the 40 years I've been alive. You know, I've dieted, you know, I always say my third job, but, you know, my whole life has been dieting. And that's what you do. You're always looking for something to work and whatever, you know, and so far this has been it. This has been the best way, and I feel the best doing this, you know.
It sounds great. Or what are people around you thinking and saying? Or are they noticing?
Yeah, people notice all the time, and ask, you know, what are you doing and whatever, and you know, I just tell them, you know, this is kind of what we're doing. It's a meat-based diet and whatever, and some people are, you know, pretty receptive, and other people are just like, oh yeah, you're gonna die early of kidney failure and whatever, and all the different things. You get all sorts of different reactions, you know, but results don't lie, you know, and they'll come back later and say, no, really, what are you doing, you know? So then you have to fill them in on the whole story and everything. But people are pretty, they want to know too. I mean, when you start getting results, people want to know what you're doing and what, you know, what is working, especially people with, you know, the weight is one thing, but the health issues is another. That honestly, that's the reason we got into regenerative agriculture to begin with. We raised animals and conventionally, and then we had a neighbor come to us and say, could you please raise this one with non-GMO feed and just raise it naturally grass-fed for us? We've got a child with autoimmune diseases, and he can't have any of the pesticides and herbicides. And so we thought, well, yeah, we'll try it. And so we did. And it turns out we liked that process, and we switched everything over and just started doing that, and seen amazing results on our farm doing those, you know, following those practices.
When was that switch? When did that happen?
It's been we switched fully and got everything transitioned over about 2 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's probably a slow, maybe a kind of a slow process.
It is, yeah. You have, you know, we switched the genetics of our cattle. We switched genetics of chickens and everything, and it's just a whole different setup. I mean, it's a whole different farm setup, and we were lucky enough to have kind of an open slate as our place as far as infrastructure. We didn't have the big barns and the, you know, different things like that. So ours was set up. We could manipulate it however we need to make it work.
Is that kind of Joel Salatin's approach where?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that same style. Yep, same thing. And we just try to, they're in a different climate. If I could live where you do in Northern California, that would be amazing because it'd be a year-round thing. This is very seasonal here, and we have to make that work in our season. And so there's a whole bunch of different things you have to do to optimize the nutrition for the animals. Yeah.
So do you have the moving chicken tractors kind of situation?
We do. Yeah, we built one that moves every day. So they all load up in it at night. They'll put themselves away, and we'll lock the door to keep them safe. And then 5 o'clock in the morning, my wife moves them and opens them back up, and they have a whole new fresh pasture that was just behind where the cows were the day before. So yeah.
Very nice. Do you have working dogs with you?
I do. I've got a working dog that helps us. Yeah. But mostly he's there for comic relief. The animals are you know, I wouldn't say trained, but they know their role. They know when it's time to move. It's like Pavlov's, you know, law. They know when you're coming out, and you open the fence, and they'll move to the next pasture and do their thing. So yeah, the sheep, cattle, chickens, all of them kind of just do it.
How do you keep the varmints away from your chickens?
So we have a guard goose. So believe it or not, we have one goose that was raised with these chickens, and she is the mother of the flock. And so she will watch for predators. She watches for the hawks. She watches for foxes and, raccoons, all of the things. And she will flap her wings and honk and everything when something's coming, and those chickens will run underneath that wagon to be safe. And then at night, they go up in the wagon. That's where their nest boxes and everything are. And we lock the door so nothing can get in there at night when we're asleep. So.
I think I need a guard goose.
You do. They're better than a dog. They are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice. So it's, and your wife is on the diet too.
She is. Yep.
And how's that working for her?
It's great. She's same thing. She's had, she's a smaller lady, but she had stiffness, acid reflux really bad. And I mean, it was immediate. As soon as she started the diet, the acid reflux was gone within just a few days even. But, the strength and the energy is probably the biggest thing for her that she's gained being on the carnivore diet, and not to mention she's very grateful to not have to go shopping and all of that kind of stuff too, So even if you weren't a rancher, to go shopping is just such less of a thing, I mean, you have other things you need to get, but there's not much in the food world that you really need to get when you're on this diet. It frees up so much time. I mean, and realistically, part of it's probably food addiction when you're on, processed foods and they're just kind of modified to make you more hungry and eating all of the time. When you break away from that and do some of that fasting, I feel that it's kind of freeing, really. And it just lets you be able to do other things and you don't have to think about food anymore.
Yeah, it really does free up time. So much time. And it's actually, I find it to be a more economical diet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Cost wise, even if you buy the best meat you can afford. I mean, realistically, it's not, vegetables are very expensive. Even if you ate another healthy diet, it's still, expensive. But if you eat processed foods and a lot of things, I think by the time you add up the waste and all of the things, I don't know if it's any more expensive to do the carnivore diet.
No, I don't think it is. And so you're losing weight, you're getting stronger. Yep. You feel like pre-diabetic symptoms are vanishing. I like that mention about the eyes. That's really terrific.
Yeah.
And have you noticed any different? Well, you're 6 months in, but have you noticed any difference about your mood or the way your relationship runs with your spouse or any of those things?
Yeah, my mood is a lot better. I mean, we've been super busy, with this whole COVID thing and everything. The ranch has really taken off. And this time of year is just a very busy time to begin with, but that's why I say I don't know that I could do all that we're doing right now pre-carnivore diet. I don't think it would happen. There's a lot of things. We get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're outside, and we don't go back in till 10:30 at night. And there's no TV, there's no time to lollygag or anything like that. So, I mean, it's very structured. As the days start getting shorter, that starts to free up just a little bit. But right now is the peak of the season, so it's very hard. But for that, all that going on, I mean, our energy is very high, and that is really the only thing we have it to attribute it to is the carnivore diet.
That's great. Have you been coaching yourself, helping people?
No.
Just people who ask you?
Yeah, just people run into or whatever. Yep.
Have you found some help or usefulness or support with the MeatRx platform?
Yeah, I have. I've gotten to have a meeting with Dr. Baker. The thing about the MeatRx platform, it's so inviting, and there's so many options on there for help. I mean, there's things, and we are very grateful for MeatRx. And before we even started, MeatRx asked us if we could put our Forge Creek on their website. So that it was available for people to know. And as a rancher, that's kind of a big deal for a local rancher. I mean, you get to have a platform to show people that you have healthy protein for people to buy. And MeatRx doesn't ask us for any money or anything. They just do it as a service so that people can have all of the information. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, that's really a good thing. So,
Yeah.
so I could buy meat from your ranch. I could order it and get it shipped. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, we do some shipping. Just our local, our need locally is pretty high. We've kind of scaled back the shipping a little bit, but we have pickup areas, around the state and everything. Most of our stuff is local, but if you reach out to us, we can ship anything anywhere in the world. So
That's great. It sounds like
yeah.
a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense that you'd be eating a carnivore diet when you're out there raising the animals for us.
Yeah. Well, you would think that, and it's taken us years to figure out that that's what we needed to do. So we did it before without it. So
Yeah.
now we're doing it.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time too. I think we've all been hoodwinked. So it's good to finally come around to our species appropriate diet.
That's right.
Nice. Well, this is a great success story, James.
Well, good.
So I really appreciate that you spent some time with us
You bet.
telling us about it. Let me just ask you, do you have a piece of advice to someone, or let's say to another rancher who who's thinking about it or complaining about their energy level or something? Do you have a piece of advice for another rancher?
Yeah, I would say try it. I mean, you're already raising animals anyway. You may as well give it a try. There's nothing to lose. I mean, if you take the time to raise your animals correctly, then there's nothing else that can feed you better than that. So I would say give it a try. Just from experience, I mean, I was a big guy, and there is a lot of energy lost in just keeping yourself going for the day, and it just helps you so much in your mood and your outlook on life, to have that. So I would say give it a try. There's nothing else to lose. You'll try all sorts of other stuff in life, and why not try that?
Good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thank you.
Put on my cowboy hat too. Thanks again.
You bet. Thanks, Brooke.
Really appreciate it. Bye now.
Bye.